Step up.
I'm gonna step up in a way you can't even imagine.
Marty, I'm gonna make you an offer.
I gotta do it completely on my own.
Every man for himself where I come from. That's just how I grew up.
You know him as Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, but now Kevin O'Leary is making his acting debut in Marty Supreme, playing opposite Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow.
All right, the film getting lots of buzz, and Kevin is here to tell us what it's like going from closing deals to delivering lines. Kevin O'Leary, nice to have you back with us on the morning show.
Thank
Good morning.
you.
All right, I mentioned off the top of our show this morning, I don't know who had this on their 2025 bingo card. I guess obviously you did, but was acting something you've always wanted to do?
I just think to keep your life interesting, you should do things outside of your comfort zone quite often. So whether it's learning how to play the cello or whether it's whatever, I know a guy that makes watches that also paraglides off mountains, which I think is crazy. But this opportunity came to me by Josh Safdie and Ronnie Bronstein, who wrote Uncut Gems, which I loved as a film. Adam Sandler starred in that. It's a chaotic movie,
Right.
comedic but also dark. And this character, they said, look, we're looking for a real a-hole, and you're it. So,
And you took that as the highest compliment.
I heard that 20 years earlier from Mark Burdett when he was casting Shark Tank. So I think this a-hole thing could be working for me at this point.
Well, there you go. Well, it is. I mean, you know, it's funny because we were in the theater together, and I turned to him. I'm like, Kevin O'Leary. Who is? I go, I only know one Kevin O'Leary. Who's this other Kevin? He's like, no, it's Kevin O'Leary. I'm like,
Kevin O'Leary,
oh my
yes.
gosh. Okay. I'm curious because we know you to call the shots on, you know, Shark Tank and whatnot. So what is it like stepping into something like this? Because you really do have to take someone else's direction and zip.
No, it's a very intuitive question you're asking me, because the very first day of shooting, I'm not used to being told what to do.
Right.
And a film set is not a democracy.
No.
Because after 20 takes of just one line between Chalamet and I in the French bistro, an important line, I admit, I finally said to Josh, who's directing it, okay, we got it, let's move on. And he just looked at me saying, we're not moving anywhere until I say so. Do it again. And so it was sort of like, okay. But yeah. I did realize that what's going on there, the way those two work is Ronnie Bronstein's in the production tent, and Josh is directing, but they're talking to each other through an IFB. And until Ronnie sees the edit, we don't stop. And sometimes it's 25, 30 takes. And then when somebody makes a mistake, and I saw this happen many times, Josh would say, let's riff on that. Let's improvise on that. Let's do some takes now that we got the main lines that you know from the script. Let's riff on that. And when I saw the movie in post-production, before it was color corrected, I realized what those guys had done. They'd taken the best line of the script and added it to the improv. This movie is half improv. Just magic stuff happening between the characters.
Wow.
See the process.
Yeah, incredible. Listen, since we got you here, we got to talk a little politics, if we could. Last time we had you on the show, we were talking trade. Still to this very day, there is no trade deal.
Right.
You're a good friend of President Trump, we know. How surprised are you that Mark Carney has not been able to strike a deal for Canada?
You know, I don't shill for politicians. I really shill for policy. And I've always said there should be a much stronger connection between the two economies, Canada and the United States, because they have the largest market on earth. We have the largest base of commodities that they need. And we both have to bulk up against the Chinese eventually. That's going to happen for sure. Specifics to what killed the trade deal is this. There was a deal at around 10% just a few weeks ago, maybe now it's 2 months ago, on 4 basic important commodities, including aluminum for car parts, at 10%. Then Ford decided to roll that video on the Super Bowl. Now, unless you understand how Trump works, you would have not done that, because he's a very bombastic guy, and if you want to get policy done, you have to understand you don't do stuff like that. I'm not telling Ford what to do. I'm just saying the reason we don't have a deal is that video.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happened.
It's a test match.
And we are nowhere right now. And Carney knows. Look, I didn't vote for Carney, but I want him to win. And I think Canada is in a wonderful position now on a new thing that we've never had ever. Data centers, because we have the lowest cost of power in Canada.
Okay.
So we have to attract those billions of dollars to come up here.
Yeah.
Nobody trusts us yet, because over the last decade under the idiot king, we destroyed our relationships with all the sovereign wealth funds.
Yeah.
None of them want to invest in Canada, so we're hoping that changes.
Let me ask you, as we were just running out of time here, but since you've now crossed over into the arts, also making headlines today is Trump's decision, or I guess the board's decision of the Kennedy Center to rename it. What do you make of that?
Noise. You know, that's what I tell people. Trump does this stuff to make his adversaries crazy. And they are going crazy. So 50% of the world has Trump derangement syndrome. It's noise. If you want a trade deal, for example, you got to focus on the signal, on how to get that deal done. It doesn't matter what he calls the, you know, the Sea of Mexico now, or whatever it was, now the Sea of America, Bay of, whatever that was. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what he does with the Kennedy Center unless it makes you crazy. Then he got to you. Don't let that happen.
Block out the noise. Don't block out this. Marty Supreme hits theaters on Christmas Day. Kevin, great job.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.